Guys, welcome back to Ivy Rose Knows. So today I wanted to talk about Gypsy Rose's new book called Released Conversations on the Eve of Freedom. She wrote this book while she was still in prison, and she starts the book off with an introduction. The introduction is a letter that Gypsy wrote to DeeDee back in 2018 while she was in prison. I'm going to read this letter to you. It's a little bit long, so bear with me. I'm also going to stop in between because there are a few parts that I wanted to discuss with you or comment on. But here's the letter. Mother, I am now 28 years old and in prison for my part in your murder. And although I can never justify my crime, nor can any letter or apology give back the life that was taken, I am writing this as if you were physically in front of me to express all that I have held in for the whole of my life. I am writing this letter having had nearly 5 years to feel the emotions felt when expressing the words written. Every day since your death, I have had nothing but time to reflect on the choices that have led me to where I am today. Moreover, of how your own actions form the circumstances around mine. That part right there makes me feel like she's blaming DeeDee. The woman writing this letter to you is far different than the girl who was once broken and desperate to live what I would later come to understand as just an average life for a young woman. Living 23 years of my life with you as my only guardian, the one person who had the responsibility of shaping who I would grow up to become, unfortunately, my upbringing was a far cry from that which it should have been. Starting from my birth, going into my young adulthood, being isolated from having any other human interaction other than with you was lonely, and has affected my ability to have appropriate social skills necessary to make healthy social interactions with others. She just said, starting from my birth, going into my young adulthood, being isolated from having any other human interaction other than with you was lonely. Other interaction? Y'all saw the videos. She had quite the life. I'll continue. The many unnecessary medical, surgical procedures and medications that were forced on me to quote-unquote treat illnesses that I did not have left my body marked with scars, both physical and emotional. Your choice to not have me educated growing up has made it difficult to gain the appropriate level of education needed for a woman of my age and has caused a depleted self-esteem in my ability to make achievements in society. When mentioning the overall lack of life experience that was withheld from me by your choice as my mother, you not only took away the normal experiences that shape an individual to be who they are or could be, but you made the choice to keep from me the best things in life that make life worth living as a youth. The innocent joy of having a first day of school. The fun of going to the mall with friends and buying a dress that would surely never pass your approval. The excitement of being asked to prom. The comfort of your embrace when getting my heart broken for the first time. The nerves of awaiting that college acceptance letter. These are all things I was not able to experience. It would be many years before I was able to fully understand the reasons why I grew up being isolated from others, being taken to hospital after hospital, doctor after doctor, without anything being medically wrong with me. Except there was something medically wrong with her. Waiting for the next time your hand was to strike me for simply trying to make a friend. Fear, manipulation, and isolation were all I knew of your kind of quote-unquote love, and the lingering question of why I was unable to be allowed the one thing that everyone else seemed to have, the ability of free will. Mom, after all that has happened, I've been searching for answers and spending my time trying to learn about myself as a person, trying to make sense of why all these events unfolded with this amount of tragedy. I want you to know that I now understand that you were mentally and emotionally unstable when raising me, and that your actions were the result of a disorder called Munchausen by proxy. that creates abuse inflicted on a child due to mental illness of the parent. With now having the answers I sought to find, I am able to finally let go of the resentment I held against you and forgive you. And moreover, I want to let you know that I'm so sorry for having a part in your death. Murder was never the answer or the solution. There is not a single day that you go unremembered, and I will carry this regret and remorse for the rest of my life. I will always love you for bringing me into this world and will remember you with love for the woman I know was a good person behind the mental disorder. Going forward, I will take my past and turn it from pain to perseverance, advocating for children who suffered abuse at the hands of a parent, sharing my story with others to spread awareness of what Munchausen by proxy is and the ways people can recognize the warning signs, in the hopes that I can educate and make the next child who wonders, why is mommy doing this to me, that much braver to reach out for help. Telling a listening ear before he or she is behind bars for thinking murder is the way out. I can never undo the hurt that was caused by my actions, but I hope by doing this, I am remembering you well and making a positive difference with your memory. I love you, Mom. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, 2018, Chillicothe Correctional Center, Missouri. I don't know about you guys, but number one, she's saying that she had no education. The only education she had was in jail, but yet she can write this letter. This letter was extremely well written. This is not an actual letter from Gypsy to DeeDee, in my opinion. Isolated. She was isolated and not allowed to have friends. But do we not remember that friends were allowed to come over and play with her? And she went out to all of these events and these vision cons and these movies and all of these things that she went to, Disneylands and everything. She was not isolated. And I feel like just the lies in this letter, again, unnecessary medical treatments and surgical treatments for a medical illness she didn't have, except she did. She was sick. And the small amount, contrary to what she states, the small amount of medical and surgical procedures that she did have were medically necessary, in my opinion. But it also sounds to me like, again, she is not taking accountability for what she did. It's almost like she is putting blame on DeeDee. Like, you're the reason that I had to do this. I don't find that acceptable. I really don't. I just feel like this is filled with lies. Like, when were you beat, Gypsy? You were at hospitals every day. You just said it in your letter. But yet there were never any marks on you. There was never any proof of it. Like, this letter that she supposedly wrote, and again, I don't believe she wrote this to her mother. I don't believe she wrote this at all. But this letter, there's just so many lies in it already that I'm concerned about the rest of the book. I can just imagine what's in there. But again, Munchausen by proxy, like, you didn't know about that in prison. I mean, that wasn't a thing. That was your defense. There was no proof that DeeDee ever had Munchausen by proxy. I just want to know what you guys think of this letter. Like, tell me what your thoughts are. What part stuck out to you? And do you believe that she wrote it? Or do you believe this is a crock of crap and it was written by whoever actually wrote her book? Again, guys, this is just an opinion. But please, I'm curious to know what yours is. Let me know.